Okay guys, welcome back. Thought I'd put out a video, end of the day video today, just with the price action. We needed to wait to see the close in order to get a better read on the charts. So let's get right into it. Appreciate the commentary and go ahead and hit that like button. Here we go. So today was pretty impulsive move upward. Not really based on any news, just money flows, I believe, but ultimately very narrow leadership today, so we do need to watch that. You can see here, if I drag this over, you can see that this is a heat map of the S&P 500, and you can pretty much see that it was FANG basically leading the way. Yeah, you have the semiconductors that were doing some things, but for the most part, it's the FANG stocks, the 5 heavy weighted mega cap stocks, and they had pretty strong days. I mean, just really strong days, in fact. Amazon up 8%. That's huge. Microsoft, I mean, they all had really strong days. So that's definitely something to watch. And so let's see what that did to the charts here. Nasdaq futures obviously rocketed higher. Here's the Qs. Here's what Qs did. So let's start out with the weekly chart just to get an idea of what's kind of going on. For one, here's your trend line in the Qs. Over the last 10 years, your bull market basically, and obviously we are still above support, still above the major trend, but okay, sorry, kid came into the office. All right, so here is the Qs and the bigger chart. Here's your uptrend. We're above trend, but now we're starting to do this blow off top move. This is what it looks like. Anytime you're outside of the trend, which is where we're at on a weekly chart. This is the high risk area, so keep an eye on that. This could obviously have just a blow off top, and that's what it looks like it's doing. So we might just shoot up and continue to run higher and make pretty strong impulsive moves higher. But blow off tops, are the end move typically. So we'll watch that. But until we see any sell signals, there's just nothing there to short against, nothing to really trade. So here's the daily. It's just showing that here's an uptrend that I marked out right here. We're kind of making our way higher in this uptrend. So we have to see how the week closes, because we've got big earnings coming out on Wednesday. Tesla, Microsoft. We're starting to kick off the FANG earnings. So to see a move like this today before earnings comes out, that it's a little suspect. So we need to kind of pay attention to that. Going down to the hourly, we closed right at the gap right here. And then the daily, there was this outside day right here. Here's a bearish engulfing outside day, but they ran it up and closed right at the top of the candle. So if this is going to be the counter move and this is the end of the move higher, then it needs to stop right here. Any little bit higher, any daily close above this, and it really just wipes out this bearish engulfing candle. And that's what it looks like it's going to do. So we'll have to wait and see. Ultimately, there's just not really much to short against until you get some sort of a sell signal. So we need to see a break probably of this trend line right here. This uptrend, it's right here. We need to see a breakdown of that, and that would confirm that more selling's coming. But if we don't get that, then this is going to continue to go higher. So let's keep watching for that. The SPY is really interesting how it closed. Okay, so here's the island top reversal that I've talked about for over a month. It seems like it's taken forever, but they finally erased the island top reversal and with a daily close above that island top. So that does really negate it. I mean, it just negates the bearish down move, and that this is a reversal. And again, all I can do when I put out videos saying that this is the top is to go off of the patterns that I see at the time and then lay out the potentials of what might happen. I did say that, they looked to run it up into the island top, and they did that right here, and it sold off, but then all of a sudden, it just reversed and continued to go higher. So that's what it is. It's what I see in the chart as of right now. So there's nothing to short against anymore in the SPY because that move's been negated. So what we'll watch for is, we'll just move out and we'll just watch for, some sort of a false breakout, just another sell signal. I do think it's going to come, but again, the SPY could be doing a blow off top too. In the SPY, we've got this megaphone pattern that's kind of playing out. You can see it here on the downside. It basically is right about there, and you can see the reaction lows here, here, and here. And then on the upside, it basically, could be something like this. Maybe it's somewhere here. You don't have enough data points. You only have 2. So we'll have to wait and see. Going back to the SPY though, if you look at the daily chart, really the daily is where you'll see it. We're still below the all-time highs, and we still have this gap right here that has not been filled. So if this wants to actually fill the gap, which is about where we were stopped today, it's sitting there right at 326.20. So if we enter the gap, we're probably going to fill, and if we fill the gap, we're probably going to make all-time new highs. Just something to watch for. But if we stop here, then this was a stop rate, and again, it's a very convincing. It's a very convincing stop rate. Looks very bullish to me today. And it negated the island top reversal, not a lot, just marginally higher. So if this is going to be a stop rate and we're going to end right here, then we got to look for a sell signal. We need a big sell off coming probably this week. So if we don't get it, then we'll have to take the chart for what it is, and it will be a bullish chart in the short term. So we'll watch that. But here's what's really happening in the market. So stocks are going higher, the dollar is actually losing value. And I've been watching this, and what this means is that everything around everyone is going to get more expensive. And that includes stocks, real estate, groceries, gas. Everything is going to get more expensive because the thing that we use to buy those products and services is the dollar, and the dollar is losing value. So you can see here that today the dollar was down again. The dollar has lost about 8% of its value since the Fed came out and did their money printing injection. The dollar has lost about 8% of its value, or 7% roughly, and it looks like it's going to continue to go lower. If I go to the daily chart, we've got major support, and we're pretty much right at it. So you can see this goes all the way back to 2011, and we've had this channel that really was the major support line, and lots of reactions here, and then as I zoom in, we've come right back down. We're pretty much right there at major support. If we break this support, then look for the dollar to head a lot lower, and we'll start to see, we're going to start to see inflation issues if the dollar continues to, really work its way lower, because there's a lot of dollars out in circulation, and if the dollar is losing value, prices are going to go up, and that's when everybody thinks that inflation's taking place, is when the prices are rising. But for the most part, they've created the inflation by increasing the money supply, and now you just wait for the symptom of that inflation, which is rising prices. And so if the dollar breaks the support, we'll watch for that, and we will, we'll have to, I'm going to have to start shifting my thesis to more of an inflation-based thesis than a deflation-based thesis. And I've always kept that around in this channel. That's why I cover the gold stocks, because I believe that there's, we're going to get inflation or deflation, but there's only one way for the Fed and for the government to get out of its debt problem, which is to either default or deflate and not pay the debt, or inflate away the debt by reducing the purchasing power of the dollar and paying back the debt with cheaper dollars. And so that's always a possibility, and maybe that's what's starting to play out. So we'll continue to watch this for signs, continue to watch the dollar. Gold at, gold's pushing up. Here's gold here. Gold bullion. 1817. So just flagging up here, starting to push to new highs. And so the miners are, possibly going to break out. We'll see. They might start to break higher. If I go to Barrick Gold here, we're back up to this 28.20 level. And this is where I sold my Barrick last time. So I sold Barrick right here. It's been quite a while, but I sold it up here at about 28.20. And we made a triple top, you can see the reactions here, and then we sold off, but now we've built momentum and recovered and come back up. So this is the fourth time we've been up at this level. It looks like we're going to probably break through it and move higher. So starting to get pretty interested in this one now. But we got to see how things play out. This could fail right here, so we got to kind of watch it. But it does look like the dollar's continuing to go lower, and that should be bullish for gold and other commodities as well. Okay, let's look at some trade ideas. Here's a trade idea. This is, I had this marked out, but this is basically Adobe and nice clean uptrend channel. I didn't trade this, I just saw it. But look, you broke down right here on the hourly, chopped around a little bit, and did a full back test today. So if this rejects right here and can't break and recover that support, this is an objective area to short. And so we'll have to watch this. You do have a little bit of, it looks like right about there is some horizontal resistance. You can see this candle right here, it held as support. So if Adobe fails right here, then this is an objective area to short. Even though the market seems like it's never going to go down, there's still, the charts are the charts, and this one has broken its trend line. So maybe it rejects here, sells off, and starts, the next trend down. This is an area that you could short at, but we gotta watch it. Divergence on the hourly. Yeah, it doesn't really have it. It looks like it burned through it today right here. And still, on the PPO, still divergent on the RSI. So yeah, we'll have to watch this. At this point, given the market's really gone into just kind of crazy mode where it just seems to want to go vertical, it might make sense when taking shorts to look for some sort of confirmation. So even though this is an objective area to short, maybe you want to see the trend start to move down, or look for some sort of a sell signal where it's starting to weaken before entering that short. It does leave you open to a little more risk because you're not as close to an objective area, but maybe gives you a higher probability for a successful trade. So just something to pay attention to. Let's look at Microsoft. So this one broke down the other day right here. And it's funny how when these breakdowns in the market come, there's just this quick repair job that's being done on all the things that matter. This happened in XLF and it happened in Microsoft today. So Microsoft was the one thing that started to break its trend. And then today they ramped it back up and closed it strong back above support. So that's bullish. That's a false breakdown. That's the only way to read it. So still above support. Still bullish. There's really nothing broken here. So we have to just continue to watch that. Apple never broke down. Still bullish. Still above trend. Amazon had just a monster day. Now Amazon has broke because Amazon went pretty much parabolic and had a pretty strong sell-off, and it really closed at resistance. You can see this is your gap right here on Amazon on the hourly chart. 3,207 about, and we closed just about there. So that should hold. That could hold as resistance, I guess, and Amazon could start to sell off. We'll just have to watch it. The thing is, when looking for these fangs, they really like to trade together. So if one of them breaks down, the others are gonna. If they don't break down, they're gonna help that other one that broke down recover because the money flows just go right in. They continue to flow into the tech sector, and then those index funds will buy the weak ones, even though it's broken trend. The others hadn't, so it's the money flows. It's how how everything's indexed. So in order to see in order to get more confirmations, you really want to see these fangs break trend, more than just one at a time. You need to see, maybe Apple and Microsoft break trend. You need to see the big players start to break, and then you'll get continued weakness as everyone pulls their money out of the index, and it will continue to sell off the fangs proportionately. So you need to watch for that. It's just something to look for. That's all I got, guys. Today was just, in general, just a bullish day. So there's really not much to say, although very thinly traded, breadth. It was really just the fangs moving today higher. And I'm talking about, when in context to the general market. Not, I know that like Tesla moved higher. And I know like there's some of the smaller market cap stocks moved higher. But I'm talking about the big players. And in general, the market, just to show this heat map again, the market, out of the S&P 500 was very weak, and you had one really strong sector, which was tech, basically. So tech continues to drag the market higher. When tech breaks, the market breaks. We continue to watch for that. Tech really hasn't broke yet. So we just, that's why I keep saying when tech breaks, the market breaks. I just want you to keep an eye on it. And that's all I got. So thanks, guys. Catch you on the next one. Bye.